ISIS, sectarian militias, crippling violence. Iraq is beset by problems. But could the country's most dire danger be water? We've heard rumblings about the precarious Mosul Dam over the past 2 years. But did you know that it's the most unsafe in the world? And experts say it could collapse any day. It would unleash a tsunami-like tidal wave, which would rush down the Tigris within hours. Mosul, still under ISIS control, would be submerged within days. Tikrit and Baghdad, too. Millions could die. Shockingly, there is major disagreement about how serious the issue is and what should be done. So joining me now is the New Yorker's Dexter Filkins, who's just visited the dam, and he's written a major report on what he found there. Dexter, welcome to the program. I mean, this is truly one of those natural disaster movies in the making, but it's real.
Yes.
It's real.
Yes,
and we've been reporting it for a long time, but this is the most in-depth that I've seen. So just play for us the catastrophe if it should break. What is it going to look like?
It's pretty crazy. You know, you have this enormous dam. It's like 2 miles wide, 400 feet high, and behind it, the reservoir has 11 billion cubic meters of water. So it's an enormous lake. If the dam breaks, and the fears are pretty high that it will, you have this enormous, essentially a tsunami that rolls down the Tigris more than 100 miles, essentially flooding everything in its path. Mosul, a city of 2 million people, would be under about 80 feet of water in an hour. And so that's just no time to evacuate. It would sweep all the cities before it, and it would arrive in Baghdad after about 3 days. Baghdad would be under, at a minimum, 16 feet of water, which is enough to flood most of the buildings in that city. That's a city of 6 million people. The international airport would be flooded. Therefore, no planes would be able to get in to mount a relief effort. So when they did the computer models on this stuff and kind of factored in, you know, how quickly people could evacuate, the estimates are like astounding. They're like anywhere from 1 million people to 1.5 million people could die.
Wow.
In the flood.
Wow.
And it's incredible. And I think what... Go ahead, sorry.
No, sorry. I mean, yes, those people could die, but what about the survivors? You say that because of the airport could be flooded, couldn't even get in humanitarian aid or any life-saving methods.
Yeah, it's really that. Somebody I was interviewing said to me, he said, "Okay, like we have a lot of dead people, but what about everybody else? You know, how do you feed, say, take Baghdad? How do you feed 6 million people when it's under 15 feet of water and the airport's closed?"
Okay.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of worry out there.
Can we just give us the reason why it's so dangerous? Okay, it was built under Saddam, and it's all about the rock,
Yes.
isn't it? The quality of the rock, which seems to be dissolving, on which it's built.
Yes. Yeah, it's a beautifully constructed dam. And it's in the wrong place, and so it's, yeah, as you said, it's sitting on a bed of soluble rock, and so the rock, when it comes in contact with water, starts to dissolve, and that, you know, you can see that's like really dangerous. And so from the minute the dam was finished in 1984, more than 30 years ago, there have been teams, hundreds of people have been working at the bottom of the dam, pumping in tens of thousands of tons of cement and concrete underneath the dam as these caverns open up underneath it. And they work around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for more than 30 years to basically stave off the collapse of the dam. And they've kind of done it. There's been a great deterioration over the years, but the big turning point came when ISIS seized the dam in 2014.
And what does that mean?
Basically,
I mean, did they stop pumping that stuff in? I mean, what did it mean?
Yes. Well, ISIS only held the dam for like a week, and then the Kurdish militia came in and kicked them out. But it was enough that the whole staff that works at the dam, and that's 1,500 people who are doing this kind of constant, what they call grouting, pumping cement into the ground, everybody left. And it's really hard to get a straight answer. I spent a lot of time trying to get a straight answer from Iraqi officials, from American officials, on how long the dam went without any work being done there. And so that, you know, the water keeps washing the foundation away. And I think at a minimum it was 4 months. And so I got a hold of some documents that were classified. And you can see that the Americans went in after they took the dam, after they retook the dam, and they started looking at the dam, and they're horrified. You know, they thought, oh my God, you know, like this thing is gonna go. Well, and what the crucial thing, what's happened over the past couple of years since ISIS had the dam, was it's basically started to move, and it's moved 4 times since then. And
Whoa.
That, you know, the implication is that because the ground is moving underneath.
Yeah. And one of the people who you quote says it's like a nuclear bomb with an unpredictable fuse, and it could happen anytime. But here's the thing, Dexter, which I find just traumatic. You've got several different views on this. One of the directors of the dam, from your article, says, sure, we have problems, but the Americans are exaggerating. This dam is not going to collapse. Everything is going to be fine. And then we have another engineer, the former Mosul Dam engineer, who's now in Sweden, who said this to us, you know, last year. Listen to what he said.
Sooner or later, the dam will be destroyed, in fact, because once the cavities underneath the foundation are so big that they can't hold the weight of the dam, then the dam failure will be within minutes.
So which is it? I mean, if you can't get a consensus on the danger and the imminence, how is it going to be fixed?
Well, I really, what's happened is, you know, behind the scenes. I mean, it's a very strange situation, as you point out. You have the director of the dam. He's been there his whole life, and honestly, I think it's a matter of pride. So he says, you know, everything is fine, and meanwhile, like behind him, like everybody is panicking. And no one wants to say anything publicly because they don't want to embarrass him. So you have the Iraqi government, which is utterly dysfunctional, you know, on a good day, and they essentially refuse to say publicly that the dam is in danger. But then you have all the engineers, and you have the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, who every time they take a measurement there, they're like, oh my God, you know, we got to get to work here. So the work is happening.
Right.
You know, I mean, they flew in these.
Sorry. Yes. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Very briefly, would there be any fair warning, or would it just go?
I think if the dam, someone said to me, you'll hear a crack, and then the dam will go. In 12 hours, it would be gone. It would disintegrate that quickly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dexter,
it's crazy.
It's a really important article, and I hope the right people are reading and
Thank you.
some action is taken. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.